Let the climax continue. I'm John Retlin with my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's G1 Climax 30 Night 3 event. It's the A-Block action continuing, and that main event was kind of deflating and not for the reasons that I think they intended. And I'm going to have some criticisms for that as I get towards that. And I do apologize for not having this review up right after the show went off the air, but I needed sleep, so I didn't watch it live. I watched it on demand after I woke up. I'm also going to have point totals at the end of this review and every other review going forward, since we're getting into, more where, oh, these guys suddenly have 2 points, Now that we're getting to where people are going to have multiple points and some are still going to be lagging behind, we can have this and, talk about some cool scenarios and everything, and let me know what you think of the tournament so far in the comments. So we start off with Gabriel Kidd versus Yuya Uemura. Nice mat wrestling to start, and both guys are going to be big stars heading into the future. Some very heavy chops. Young Lions really laying it in, whether they're from the LA dojo or the New Japan dojo. Nice spring in the dropkick from Yuya. That was really good stuff. Strikes were really laid in. And a double arm suplex from Gabriel Kidd. 1, 2, 3. That was good. That was a good way to end the match. That can be a really, really good finisher for Gabriel Kidd. And, that's the Young Lion match. And then we go to the A-Block action. Jeff Cobb versus Shingo Takagi. And this is good. I really enjoyed this. Jeff Cobb has really shown up in this tournament. There were some people that were questioning if he really was, why his matches seemed kind of here and there in last year's G1. And I agree. Maybe it's because he had other commitments. Maybe it's just the chemistry wasn't there. But with Shingo, he really had the chemistry. And this is a Jeff Cobb I love. He really did some great shit here. And I love Shingo. And I was excited for this, and they did not disappoint. Very nice throws, some very good, some very good strikes, and they really threw the power moves in there. They did some good shit here. When Shingo hit the no Shigami, I'm like, holy shit, that's some impressive strength right there. And Shingo's a strong guy, but Cobb ain't exactly small. Pump and bomber for 2. There was this one kind of bad power bomb that Jeff Cobb hit, but he made up for it by hitting a standing moonsault. It was just a bad, sequence of events, but nobody got hurt. That's thankful. And it looked like Shingo might get it, but nope. Eventually, Jeff Cobb hit the Tour of the Islands 1, 2, 3. I was a bit shocked to see Jeff Cobb get the victory, but apparently he did sign a contract with New Japan, which is great. Great signing for them. He is going to benefit them absolutely, and he reminds me of a mix of Terry Gordy and Dr. Steve Williams, in my personal opinion. I just think he's really got a huge upside and is going to do great in New Japan. Because he's been great for years, but now we get to see what he can do with a bunch of great athletes in New Japan. And then we get to Okada versus Yujiro. It's the best versus Yujiro Takahashi. That's unfair to Yujiro, who is a good wrestler, but did anybody believe that Yujiro was going to win this match? Did anybody? Please, let me know if you guys thought that Yujiro was going to win this match, because I sure as fuck didn't. Now, it wasn't bad, but the winner was obvious. There was a cool dive outside by Okada, and Yujiro hit some good moves, but in the end, we get the clutch, and, Okada gets the victory. Because of course he fucking does, because he's Okada. Why the fuck is he going to lose to Yujiro in the G1? I know they have surprise losses in the G1, and that makes for some good storylines for those that aren't going to be factored into the main events or even semi-main events, but nobody believed Yujiro was going to win. And then we get intermission. Then we get Suzuki versus Taichi, the Holy Emperor versus the King of Pro Wrestling. And my fucking God, this was a fight. This was a goddamn great fight. I'm also surprised to find out that Taichi is almost a year older than me. I thought he was in his late 30s. I just didn't think that he was a little older than me. I'm going to be 40 in January, and he's going to be 41 early next year. So that really surprised me. But that being said, Suzuki gun exploding, and they did some good stuff here. Some nice strikes, of course, since they're in the same group. There's going to be, more stuff laid in, and Suzuki instantly attacked him. We get dirty tactics, a ref bump, chairs, and all that. And then eventually, Black Mephisto 1, 2, 3. Taichi getting the victory. He's doing some good stuff here. And, Suzuki and Taichi for the Never Openweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. That'd be pretty interesting. But not a bad match. Pretty damn good stuff. And then we get to Tomohiro Ishii versus the aerial ass Will Ospreay. And I'm going to keep calling him that until he apologizes and makes good on what the fuck he did. So, and I don't apologize for that, because that should be, everybody in wrestling, everybody in life should be held to that kind of, standard. It's fucking bullshit. Just saying. No matter how good you are in the ring. I was hoping Ishii would win. I also knew he wasn't going to win. I'm afraid they're going to strap the rocket to Will Ospreay, the aerial ass, and they're going to give him the aerial ass rocket, if you will, which kind of sounds uncomfortable for everybody. Oh, Japan. But this match was pretty damn good, all things considered, just focusing on the in-ring action. Ishii just doing some really goddamn great shit, powering through him and just beating him down. That was some pretty cool stuff. But, Ospreay hitting the Oscutter off the barricade. Ishii with a great goddamn, superplex off the ropes, which be hard to do a superplex not off the ropes. And, some huge strikes by Ishii. Oscutter for 2, some very nice counters. I thought Ishii was going to get, I actually was hoping I'd be wrong, but no. Poison Rana, Spike Driver, that looked like it really goddamn hurt. And then Stormbreaker, impressive strength by the aerial ass, 1, 2, 3. So there we go. Will Ospreay, getting the victory. I'm not really surprised, though I am disappointed. And then we get to the main event. Oh boy, a Jay White main event. Oh boy, it's formulaic, stalling, and the same usual smoke and mirrors. It's not that Jay White's bad, he is just not nearly as good as they need him to be. Jay White versus Kota Ibushi. Rematch of last year's G1 Finals. Again, it's not that Jay White's bad, I just totally check out during most of his matches because a lot of them, some of them have been good. And he's been with the right opponents, but a lot of it, it's the same shit. We just wait for Gato to interfere. We just wait for this. And yes, I know that's Wrestling 101 and the stuff they did in the territories, and they got it where they could get the people hooked. Half the time, I don't know if people necessarily care. And if you have indifference from your fans towards one of your top heels, and not everybody. There are people that like Jay White. There are people that cheer for him, and that's fine. That's great. I'm just not one of them. And he eventually won with the Blade Runner. I also wonder why Kota Ibushi hates his own goddamn neck. I didn't care. I just didn't care. I knew Jay White was going to win, and he did, and it was in one of the most boring formulaic ways possible. It wasn't a shit ton of interference, but it was enough to make me think, oh great, they're just doing it again, because they have no original ideas left. And I love New Japan. But sometimes, some of the shit they do, if I'm going to call it out in other companies, I got to call it out here. So yeah, Jay White wins. Now let's get to the point total. Will Ospreay has 4. Yujiro Takahashi has none, which is fitting. Jeff Cobb has 2. And then Taichi has 4. Tomohiro Ishii has 0. Minoru Suzuki has 2. Shingo Takagi has 0. Jay White has 4. Okada has 2. And Kota Ibushi has 2. I'm very afraid that Jay White's going to win the G1, and then my interest in the Wrestle Kingdom 15 event will go down dramatically, but I know some people will like it. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.